Hi, my name's Carol Smith from North East Counselling Services. We're a counselling agency based in the northeast of England, but we can deliver counselling via Zoom or telephone to anyone around the UK. I've been asked to deliver a number of presentations which are available on our website, and we've got presentations there thinking about how to improve your mental well-being, and for managers how to help staff who have mental health problems. And this one is about change and resilience and how they're linked and how are they affecting your mental well-being. And this has come obviously as a result of the COVID situation and the fact that people have been forced into change, which is having a big impact on their mental well-being. And what I like to do in my presentations is to get you thinking about who you are and how you react to things. And if there's something you're doing that might be a little bit unhelpful to you, and that might be causing your mental health problems to become exacerbated. So I'll get you thinking about things. There are some links in the handbook that goes with this presentation to websites and tests and things to get you understanding more about yourself. So the first thing to think about is, what is resilience? We probably all know people who've faced one kind of tragedy after another, and they're still positive and they're still smiling and they're still feeling optimistic about the future. Those people are resilient people. They bounce back, they understand that there are negative emotions associated with some kind of change and that they need to kind of come through it and move forward, and they know that they've got confidence in their own ability to do so. Other people are just flawed by certain situations and they can't see a way out of it, and these are people who have low resilience. And sometimes we find that we can improve people's resilience by just helping them think about what makes them unresilient, if you like. So resilience is the ability to bounce back after a tragedy or a difficult situation. Then we think about change. What is change? Well, change can either happen to you, so something's forced upon you, you might be made redundant. The COVID situation really forced change onto everybody. And the other thing is, you can affect change for yourself. So you might think, I'm really not happy with who I am or the relationship I'm in, and you make the decision to change. And the different situations can have different impacts on you. So if you've made the decision to change, you've probably worked through the change process. If we're looking at the change curve, you've probably looked at the process and moved through it. Whereas if change happens to you, you're hit with stage one, where you might be in shock or denial when the change happens and you don't understand what's happening. And then quite often we'll move round to the disruption that's happening, and you might be feeling fearful or angry, and that will then cause you to move further down, and perhaps you'll experience some depression and some rage, but eventually you'll start to move through the change curve up to acceptance and then commitment to the future. What we want to do is stop people getting stuck, because we probably know people who have had something happen to them and then they've become very stuck in the number two phase, the disruption, the anger and the fear. People are angry at the world for something that's happened to them, and it's not that it's their reaction to the change, if you like. They're stuck in that phase and they're holding on to it because it's giving them energy. And what we want to do when we face change or we face a situation that's very difficult is to be able to move through this process up to the commitment, so that your mental well-being stays good, because it's not effective to be angry or fearful or anxious all the time, and that'll just keep you feeling depressed or low. There are a few things that can affect change, and your reaction to change. The first one is, how do I actually react? We've all got different ways of functioning. So some people have an emotional mind, some people have a rational mind, and people who tend to be resilient have a wise mind. They've got an overlap between the two different ways of thinking, and they understand the emotional side of things as well as the facts and figures. So if you've got an emotional mind, you might react very quickly. You might react with anger, you might shout and scream, you might cry, you might whatever you do, and that will make you feel unsafe. You've kind of flared up and you find it difficult to come back down. And that makes the change situation very difficult, because then it's hard to move to the rational mind and think about actually what is happening. If you've got a rational mind, you're probably going to think logically, use your past experience, and just look at all the facts and do some research. But what that won't take into account is how are you feeling about the situation? How are other people feeling about the situation? And you do really need to take that into account and acknowledge those feelings that you have, because they're a very powerful indicator of what is your reaction to the change. So if you're feeling angry, where's that coming from? Why are you feeling angry? If you're feeling upset or sad or whatever, you want to think about why are you feeling that, because that'll give you an indication to the cause of it, and then you can think about what the cause is. Because how you react then leads on to the next bit, which is what can I control? Now, quite a lot of us spend a huge amount of time trying to change things that we can't change them. We don't even have any influence over them. You know, if you planned a nice day out and the weather's really awful, can you say, okay, then we'll just change, or we'll go out anyway? Or do you get really angry about it? You can't control the weather. You can't even influence the weather, but you can take control of the situation. So when you're looking at the change, think about what has happened in the change. You know, we couldn't have changed the COVID situation. Whatever happened. If you're at home with your children, homeschooling them, you can't control if the school's open or not, but you can control maybe what hours you work, what days you work, maybe speak to your boss about how you can make it easier to fulfill the two roles that you need to. And so thinking about the things you can control and putting plans in place will make you feel safer. Recognizing the things that you can't control or influence will then allow you to free your mind. And if you recognize that you're starting to worry about those things, then you can pause, come back and say, I can't control that. There's nothing I can do. There's no need to worry about it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And so what thinking about the things that you can control does is make you feel more in control of the situation, because there will be things you can't control. So try not to worry about the things you can't control or influence, because that's going to have a massive impact on your mental well-being negatively. And think about the things that you can control, because getting them into some sort of order, getting a plan made, that will really help. And then there's been a lot of research looking at how your mindset can affect how you react to change. So we've got either a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. And there's a test in the little handbook that you can try to see what your mindset is. So if you've got a fixed mindset, you probably think, oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. You know, it's like people who say, oh, I'm no good at maths. I can't do maths. Well, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you don't do it. So if you have a fixed mindset and change happens to you, say your relationship breaks up and it wasn't your decision, your fixed mindset is going to be saying, oh, I can't cope on my own. I can't do this. What's going to happen? And you'll become very upset very quickly. If you've got a growth mindset, then you'll be thinking, okay, what can I do now? What can I think about to change the situation? I've never bought a house before. I'm going to look into that. And your growth mindset comes with this kind of almost belief that you can do anything you want, and that takes you forward through the change. So give a go at the test and have a look at what your mindset is like. Have you got a growth mindset or have you got a fixed mindset? And that might be having a real impact on how you deal with change. And have a think about, is my mindset causing me problems when I'm faced with change? So, you know, maybe you're thinking, oh, I can't homeschool the kids. Well, of course you can. Think about, what can I do that's within my capabilities, or can I find somebody else to help? So thinking about your mindset is really important. Then what next? What next? Well, I would suggest there's a test in the handbook to look at your resilience. It's a test to look at your mindset and have a think about how you react to change and how you can move change through. And what can you do to take control of certain things. If you do have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. You can email or drop me a text or give me a call, and I look forward to hearing from you. And if there's anything else you'd like to hear about, please get in touch. Thank you.